I'm delighted to say we're joined now from Kiev by the former spokesperson to President Zelensky, Iuliia Mendel. Iuliia, thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. We appreciate your time. A year ago, many observers assumed that this would all be over very quickly. It's been the opposite of that, of course. How would you assess the last year and where things stand right now?
Well, Aaron, thank you for having me. First of all, let me say that Ukraine and its president were very underestimated by multiple partners, not only in the West and civilized world, but also by Putin. And many believe that Ukraine didn't have enough strong army and didn't have determined people to keep fighting for independence and actually to stand against Russian aggression. So let me say that the predictions were wrong, first of all, because, there was this fear that Russian army is so strong and Ukrainian army is was so underestimated. Right now, we see that definitely the war kept longer for the reason that Ukrainians maintained a lot of successes on the battlefield. Like we regained the territory of Kiev region, Kharkiv region, Kherson region, and right now we believe to the president who promises that he will do everything to return peace to Ukraine this year and actually to gain victory in this terrible war, the biggest war in Europe since World War II.
Well, yes, your president says victory will be Ukraine's if allies stick to their promises and stick to their deadlines. But what do you think victory looks like?
Well, let me first say that there were already a lot of successes. Look, Russia wanted to gain Ukraine and to put its own puppet president, and we are still an independent country. Russia wanted to destroy our economy, but our government works despite of course, huge, decrease in economic signs. Then, of course, Russia wanted to terrify Ukrainians here, sending missiles when it started losing on the battlefield. But we are not determined. We are not terrified. We are determined to win. Russia wanted to destroy our energy facilities, but still we work. And I'm sitting here with light, and with warmth and with water, with everything. And it happens in majority of the countries. And Russia, first of all, gained 25% of Ukrainian territory. Now it owns 17. And Ukraine hopes that we will regain all our territories, including those that Russia annexed back in 2014, which includes Crimea and the occupied part of Donbass. We're not sure. No one can be sure. But we will try to do everything what's possible.
Iuliia, absolutely, Iuliia, but that does not sound like a short-term goal. That sounds like it could be a conflict years in the making.
Look, we are prepared to the worst, but we hope for the best. And believe me, there is no any country in the world that would like to have peace more than Ukraine. And Ukrainians want to have peace, but this should be peace with a victory. We suffered so much here. It's hard to explain so fast how much we suffered, that there is some kind of fairness and justice that needs to be returned. And let me just remind you that Russia has become a world champion in sanctions, and Russia just does not have enough capacities to produce more weapons. If Russia does not shell more missiles right now, one of the most important reasons is that Russia doesn't have capacities to produce new missiles. So the thing is that Russia will be also pressured to withdraw the troops and actually to negotiate further how to survive, because Russia is in such a hard condition right now. And I think many Russians feel it, so that they recognize what their leadership is doing here in our country.
Let's just finish with a quick word on Volodymyr Zelensky, Iuliia. I mean, a year ago, he may have been unknown in some parts of the world. Now he's an internationally renowned and respected statesman. How important has his role been in Ukraine's success?
I will, try to be short, but it was one of the most crucial roles, because at the very beginning, when, the world around us in Ukraine was collapsing and all the world we knew was, just ruining, he was there not only to stay here, but also to lead and actually to shape the Ukrainian identity by identifying Ukrainians not as victims, but as fighters. And that's why majority of Ukrainians, and the latest survey shows 91% of Ukrainians still support President Zelensky and is grateful to President Zelensky.
Iuliia, we thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Iuliia Mendel there, former spokesperson to Volodymyr Zelensky.